Hello.
Yeah, hi, Yugansh.
Yeah, hi. Hi, everyone.
Joining soon. We'll wait for 5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah,
Yeah.
hi. Hi, Rahul. Yugansh
How-
this side. I'm good.
So I saw your resume. I'm not able to get that how much experience you have because you haven't mentioned any dates.
Okay. So I am a 2018 pass out. So currently I am holding 3.5 year experience.
In a good sense. Okay. And I think one advice to you, you should mention the dates as well in the resume so that like anyone can guess like how much experience you have because without this we are not able to identify that how much experience the candidate has.
Okay. Okay. Maybe I have missed it in this version because I had it in all the versions.
Okay. Okay.
I,
No issues.
okay. I will be more careful next time.
Yeah. So you are working with Excel right now. Okay. So what is this refund engine?
Okay. So refund engine was like so basically, before understanding that, I would give a gist about what I was working on. So the
Okay.
project I was working on was called Shop, and it
Mhm.
was a e-commerce project like for digital services that are being provided by Airtel. For example, we are trying to build an aggregator
Mhm.
of all the digital services. For example, Z5, Netflix, Amazon Prime,
Mhm.
such kind of entertainment things, and maybe life insurance and all. These
Mhm.
kind of online aggregator, there was no place for that. So Airtel started it will start an e-commerce aggregator for that. That
Mhm.
was called Shop. So when I joined, it has order manager in place and like provisioning system to
Mhm.
provision those services to the users. But the refund system was not there in the order manager
Okay.
system. So
Okay.
that was my first project when I joined Airtel.
So it is used by the end user or it is used by the merchants like Netflix, Amazon, and all this stuff. Hotstar. Who will use?
It was designed to be used by end users, but it is not live because it has
Mhm.
a dependency on payment system as well. Because payment system also need to like refund that. So I had made the workflow in the shop, but it didn't go live yet because the payment system was not ready with their like feature. What I did was instead of involving Airtel payment system, we used to like manually. Like I used to do two things. I used to collect all the
Yeah, tell me.
the next day
Okay.
after reconciling. And the second step was to automate that with the Airtel payment system. But as it was like they were not able to prioritize it for that for yet, so it's that part is not like that.
So what is the use of solid principles here?
So overall, okay. So solid principles basically. Uh, so you are asking what are solid principles or how I implemented
No,
using solid
no. So
principles?
what is the purpose of solid principles in this application?
Okay, solid principle basically I to create this module in
Mhm.
the existing service. I
Mhm.
implemented using all the solid principles. That's what I have mentioned. So the
Mhm.
single, for example, first one is single responsibility. So single
Mhm.
responsibility. So I created a new class for that. That was only responsible for like refunding and at least so not new class, a new layer for that. So
Mhm.
once the order is being like confirmed that it needs to be refund, then that particular class responsibility is to like refund that particular and store it in the DB. So that was the single responsibility. Uh, uh, Another is open for extension. So open for extension basically
No,
the
no, so
second.
you want hold on. Actually, I don't need the explanation. I just want to know that what is the reason that you have to use the solid principle in that application?
Okay, so what's the reason? So reason basically is simple that everything that we design, we should make like it to be like extensible and more like robust. So for that, at, I had mentioned that the whatever architecture or whatever coding that I did was in coherent with the solid principles. That's what I have mentioned.
So means that is it kind of like any payment issues or anything like that that you need to get the solid principle in the application kind of thing? Actually, what
Not
I'm trying to say is like, suppose there is a payment system and multiple users are making a payment at the same time. Okay, so
okay.
there must be a chance that you will receive one payment or you will miss the other one. So for this reason, you have used solid principle or any other reason.
Uh, like I think solid principle should be used anywhere where we design. But for here also, like you mentioned, this is also one use case where implementing using solid principles, it could have been like mitigated the problem you stated. For example, retry system that you are asking about is
Mm-hmm.
also a part of like responsibility of the system only, that if it is not able to like respond to that particular request at that time, it should be able to like retry it later. So that was also a part of it. Also, the latency and all that was like kept in mind that how much like the user should not be able to feel the latency
Have
much.
you handled the network calls in that application? That how many network calls can be made like in a 1 ms, in 1 millisecond, like that?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, TPS calculation was the like so the system that we had built already. There was no major traffic on the refund because orders are mostly successful on our system. But in on an average, 1.5 million orders are being provisioned daily in shop, and out of that, around 1,000 to maximum 2,000 orders were being refunded in a
Mhm.
single day. So that was the TPS for us, like not TPS, the traffic per day for us
So
on that particular model.
you have also created microservices.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So what is the purpose of microservices?
So basic purpose of microservices basically like separating out the like responsibility of a particular service. For example, the e-commerce architecture that I have given like stated before.
Yeah.
In that there needs one catalog service that we need to show all the items to a particular user. So that should be a separate service, so that any change in that particular service does not affect the rest of the service, because its implementation and its responsibility is way much more disaligned with the other system. Once the user is like move ahead with the catalog system, then it starts to place the order. So the cart system and the order management system and inventory system, these are the three systems, the services that should be like separated, because all these three have different responsibility, and their code base should be
What
different.
are the what are the disadvantages of using microservice architecture?
Disadvantage of using microservice architecture are the network calls, I would say. So the network calls that and the communication that needs to be done between the systems, that is a overhead that we need to maintain with the microservices.
Mhm.
Second would be more hardware we require, because while deploying the services on the servers, so we need more servers to deploy like more instances of the services. So that's one uh, like overhead that we encounter with microservice architecture.
Okay.
Apart from this, well, yeah, these two only I'm able to think right now.
So suppose there is single application, so you can also, so there is a single application and we're using the monolithic approach. Okay.
Okay.
And we are using a hardware which is like, so like if you need a require, if you require 1 GB space, so still we are using like 2 or 3 GB space. Okay. So
Okay.
in that way we can also handle the things. So why we can go for the microservice architecture, just for
Uh,
the, just for the separation of code kind of thing, or like uh, independent, making it things independent.
Okay, yeah. So the advantages of microservices are like way more than the disadvantages, I would say, because the maintaining the monolithic architecture code is very much difficult because there are many like disadvantages in that. First disadvantage is that anytime you need to change any piece of code, you need to deploy the whole code again
Mm.
to the servers. So that's the major disadvantage, and that also results in the downtime of the applications. So that I think that's the main reason we shifted to microservice architecture in the first place. Apart from this, maintaining the code also is a like big overhead for the monolithic architecture,
Mhm.
and understanding of code is also one like major issue.
What are the 4 pillars of OOPS?
So four pillars of OOPS are encapsulation,
Mhm.
polymorphism, uh, inheritance,
Mhm.
and abstraction.
Okay. So how we can achieve okay, what is multi-line polymorphism in Java?
Okay, so polymorphism is basically like calling like multi poly means many and forms mean names, right? So there are two types of polymorphism. One is compile time polymorphism and
Okay.
another is runtime polymorphism. So compile time polymorphism is example of compile time polymorphism would be like function overloading.
Okay.
Function overloading, for example, add function. Now we need add function to add two integers, and another add function would be adding two strings. So these two have the same name, but the parameters are different. So
Mhm.
that's the example of function overloading and compile time polymorphism. So same function is catering the same responsibility, but the it's handling two different parameters, like types of parameters. So
Okay.
that's one advantage. Another major advantage is runtime polymorphism. So runtime polymorphism is the base of all the design patterns that we make
Mhm.
in Java. So
Okay.
so runtime polymorphism, but ensures that the late binding happens for that particular piece of code, and instead of early binding. So that helps a lot in lot of cases. For example, suppose I have a manager class, oh sorry, employee class, and I need to like calculate its salary
Mm-hmm.
for all the employees. Now there are two types of employees. One is manager employee and another is developer employee, and there
Uh-huh.
are different functions for both the employees to calculate those salaries.
Uh-huh.
So now instead of calling different functions, what I can say is I can make a parent function of employee class and like maybe create an interface for employee and create its two child implementation. One is for manager and one for student. Oh,
Mm.
sorry, developer. And like in their implementation of calculate salary, I can give their corresponding implementations also. So this would help in like extensing, making the code extensible also, because anytime I need to add a new type of employee, I just need to add its implementation for calculating the salary. So that
Mm.
ways runtime polymorphism very comes very much handy while developing.
Okay. So Yugansh, I have shared you one link. Can you just open there
Uh, okay.
and please share your screen.
Okay. Actually, it's asking me permission to like share the screen for Google Chrome. So I need to quit and reopen it. It might like I
No
may able
issues.
might be able to join the.
No
I
issues.
might drop and then join again.
You can read. No issues.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Can you please share the link again?
Yeah, I'll share. So what will you prefer language? Java?
Yeah.
Okay. So the problem statement is like there is a string, okay,
Okay.
and if you see here, ABC is repeated.
Okay.
So we need to find the longest substring which is repeating. So here our output will be ABC because if you see ABC is getting coming three times.
Okay. ABC is coming 3 times. Okay.
Uh,
So we
so the
uh,
output will be ABC.
okay. So the question is like we need to find the longest string that is being
Substring.
repeated maximum times.
Longest, longest substring which is repeated maximum times.
Okay.
Question is clear to you?
Yeah. We just need to find out a longest substring that is repeated maximum number of times in the given string, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So what will be your approach for this problem statement? Just take a time and then just give me the algo first. Then we'll start writing code.
Okay. So one of the brute force solution that I am able to think is like iterating over the string and getting all the substrings and then taking account of all the possible substrings and like the substring with maximum frequency it should be our output.
Okay.
So
And how
uh,
you find the substring?
how I define the substring?
How
How
you
how
will
I'll
find the
find this?
substring?
Okay,
Yes.
so for that I'll take two like nested loops. I'll like I and j, and I'll be able to calculate all the substrings
Okay.
starting from every ith character possible,
Mhm.
and also I'll maintain a hash map for like counting the frequency of each substring
Okay.
possible,
Okay.
and then from the hash map I will able to find the maximum frequency, and then I'll return that particular string.
Okay.
The time complexity here would be like O of n square because to calculate all the substrings,
Mm-hmm.
and like space complexity would be O of n because to maintain the hash. No,
Mm-hmm.
O not O of n. The total number of substrings possible. So
Ah,
total number of substrings possible would be I think n into n plus 1 by 2.
yeah. Okay, fine. Now can you just start the coding part?
Okay, okay. Uh, can I use C++ for this question? I am more
Yeah,
comfortable
yeah,
with that.
yeah. You can.
Yeah, I used to give the interviews in C++, but from the last 1 year, I am using Java. So that's सॉफ्टवेयर स्केल मैप के ऊपर हमने कर दिया, ठीक है। अभी मैप count is equal to minus 1 9 point writing for writing method begin writing method and writing display writing second doesn't count. Answer first. Yeah, I think this should work. Hello.
Yes.
I think this should work.
Okay. You can run
So
this.
what?
Just run this code. Have you done see out somewhere? Return. You need to see out. No matching member function to call insert. You can clear the console also. Just clear the console from the top.
Okay. Number second and this. Okay. And second function that we go. Actually, I'm like a bit rusty with this. Can I search it like how to
Yeah, you
write
can
it?
see some Google, no issues.
Reference to नोटिफिकेशन अच्छा क्लियर अच्छा चल तो गई तो ओके सी ए बी सी ए बी सी ए अच्छा एक बार प्रिंट कराएंगे कॉन्फ़िगर सेटिंग फर्स्ट हो जाएगा B A B A B C A B C A B C A B A B C A B C to second C A B C A B A B A B A B नहीं आ रहा इसके पास A B A B नहीं आ रहा चेक कर पाना चाहिए A B A B A B A B B B A B A B ये भी दो बार क्या आया A B A B A B A B 1, 3, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay. This also must have IG. A, AB, AB, A. AB, AB, B, B, A, B, A, B. Yeah, I think yes. So B, A, B repeat for A, B, convention. Density name. A, B, 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 B. दोबारा क्या है
So you guys, we are running out of time. You need some time, or we can move to the next question.
just one last thing
Yeah.
I think I will to get it another map के अंदर बस last वाली वाली डालनी है nine okay I take a second data can also mention here.
No issues. Actually, I just want to check that how means how the way you write the code. So I think it's quite good.
uh just one last thing I think this will do it count
Yeah.
is equal to Yeah, I think now we have the answer. So AB, answer is AB.
Mhm.
ABC, ABC.
So in that case, answer will be AB because AB is repeating 3 times.
Yeah, there is some bug in this still.
No
I
issues,
have to look.
it's fine. So let's jump to next problem statement. Okay. So
Okay.
you have an array. Just write the array. You will use C++ or Java.
C++.
Okay. So there is an
Well,
array.
I'll decide on the question because I am
Okay, fine.
not.
So my question is, let me write a question.
Hmm.
So there will be an array of a string. Okay. So if this is my array, output will be flow.
Okay.
So what the matching characters among all the elements should be the answer. Question is
Okay.
clear?
Okay. And matching character as in the
From
like
the beginning.
con
Okay.
continuous, right?
Yeah, continuous. Yeah, you can say the prefix will be, we need to find the longest matching prefix.
Okay. Longest matching
Suppose
prefix. Okay.
if it is like that, so the output
Hmm.
will be flow because sorry,
Hmm.
so the output will be flow because flow is common among all the elements.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Got it. So what we can do is like we can yeah. So I think it will solve it. Huh? So what we can do is we can take a pointer like I for example I is equal to 0. Start with I is equal to 0 for all these strings, and we will like iterate it till the lowest length string in the given array, and because that's the maximum prefix that we can get from the array,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So we will iterate through all the strings, and like at any point if we see that strings character at that particular
Mm.
ith character is not matching, we would just return the prefix that we have gathered till now.
Okay. Got it. You can write a code for that.
Yes, yes. I'm not able to like make changes in it.
What you are not able to do.
Okay, now
But just don't remove the comment. Yeah.
Let's do this. Let me go to the carrier J comma J को system पर रखते हैं, ठीक है। वेट लेंथ को इसको बढ़ा के रखते हैं, बराबर वन का 0 नहीं मैच करेगा सी से, ठीक है। तो हम अगर ये नहीं मैच करता है फिर कभी बल्ला अगर सारे जो पास हो जाएगा तो प्लस इक्वल टू सी, ठीक है। और 0 ठीक है, ऐसे प्लस प्लस कन्वर्ट यहाँ से कहीं से भी आंसर नहीं आएगा, आंसर और प्लान आंसर रिटर्न कर देंगे। ठीक है, तो प्लस निकाल दिया और एक्स्ट्रा लेंथ प्लस देन सी एक्स्ट्रा लेंथ, ठीक है। अब इंडाइरेक्ट 0 सी जो है 0 वाई पे स्ट्रिंग आंसर निकाला, आंसर जे वन से स्टार्ट करा है और एरे जे आई नॉट इक्वल टू सी हो जाता है, तो सी आउट में आंसर अब तक जितना बना है रिटर्न कर दो, ठीक है। आंसर प्लस सी कर दो, अगर आंसर यहाँ से जो रहेगा तो आंसर प्लस सी करके आई प्लस प्लस करके बनाना, फिर अभी आंसर प्रिंट करा दो, इसके बाद not allowed to have eliminated operation until the structure and the structure. This direction is strength 3 is not the structure and J equal to 1 J plus 39 का अच्छा J is equal to 1 array dot length J is equal to 1, j less than array dot length, j plus plus. Array dot length. I think I got the answer.
Okay. Can you change the flow to W or like make it? Okay. Now try with different system. Like try from is. This one is RAM. Okay, let run it. It will return 0.
It didn't. And
Return 0 still. Okay, fine. No issues. RAM and some related to like RAM Naresh, Ramoya. Fine. Okay. Okay, cool man.
okay.
So Yugansh, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I would like to know like what are the tech stack that you currently like majorly use while building, and what are you like building in the team that is I am being interviewed for.
Okay. So basically, the company has a different policy. Okay. So the first out of interview will be taken by some third party company like us.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
We evaluate
okay,
the candidate and then we will pass the feedback to the team, and then they will conduct only I think 1 or 2 rounds, not more than that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
As per the
Okay.
technology they are working on, so they are working on the Java framework is with this
Okay.
and they are also using the Jenkins, Maven, all this stuff. Along with they have the Dockers. So they are using Dockers for the like deployment things. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
that much I can tell you right now.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all from my side also.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Good night.
Bye bye. Good night.